Next on VPT's Outdoor Journal.
We learn what it takes to build your own Adirondack Guideboat, an elegant, seaworthy, and timeless design that's been serving outdoorsmen for over 100 years.
Over 150 years ago, the Adirondack Guideboat was designed and used because of its pickup truck-like ability to haul outdoorsmen, their gear, a couple dogs, and their trophies through the various lakes of the backcountry. Described by one writer as a Stradivarius of a boat built by North Country carpenters, the Adirondack Guideboat Company in North Ferrisburgh, Vermont, has given a new life to this timeless, elegant, and seaworthy boat.
A recreational boater, I'm not. Boats are designed to deliver me to where dinner is, basically. And that's what I do. I get frustrated if I'm on the water without a fishing pole.
Jim and Susan Peaton have been enjoying adventures in their Adirondack Guideboat for years. It's a boat they agree is a classic.
There's nothing more classic in terms of design than the Adirondack Guideboat. This design has really not changed substantially since it was first perfected by the guides who built it. It's a purpose-built boat. Despite the lightweight and the relatively small size, this was designed to haul a couple of big burly hunters and all their gear, plus the guide. So it's deceptively rugged, and yet it has that delicate look.
Beginning around 1830, Adirondack guides began to build and perfect their own personal designs for these working boats. Not only did they have to be sturdy enough to carry heavy loads, but they also had to be light enough to portage from lake to lake. By the late 1800s, visitors from Boston and New York's urban centers began to favor the Catskills and other resort areas. Vacations to the Adirondacks diminished, and the guideboats themselves fell out of use. But guideboats have made a comeback in the last decade. Steve Kaldak has had a significant hand in their return. He is a guideboat builder and a fan of these beautiful yet functional vessels.
My first attraction to the Adirondack Guideboats, coming from a fine arts background, was purely aesthetic. I was just in awe of the combination of the lines, the way the gunnels turned on the boat. And then I got in one for the first time and realized that adage of form follows function is just so true. And not only was it a beautiful boat, but it was one of the finest performing boats I'd ever been in.
Steve loved the boats so much he decided to start building them. That was 25 years ago. Now he and his colleagues at Adirondack Guideboats in Charlotte, Vermont, make a kit available so that outdoor enthusiasts can build their own cedar guideboat. Steve gave me a sampling of what it takes to build one of these kits.
The first strip will take longer, and then you'll become progressively faster and faster at doing it. And well, the amount of work that you see on this boat here was probably done in about a day and a half. So just put that in like that, and you just get that kind of an amount. You just come over there and put it on the top there, making sure that every place along the top has got a certain amount of epoxy on it.
You don't want to go overboard, but you don't want to be too light either.
Right. If you're sloppy, it runs down all over the place, and then cleanup becomes more of a chore than you need to have it be.
Mm-hmm. Most home boat builders spend close to 300 hours completing their kits. Often their goal is a springtime launch.
People tell me of how it isn't so much that they're involved in a race to finish these boats, but that they enjoy and look forward to coming home and maybe putting a few strips on, or hoping that they get it done by spring, but more, I think, it's the process of putting away some of the winter hours when there's nothing else to do.
The kit comes with the parts and pieces milled and ready to assemble. While the boat is true to its design heritage, modern innovations have made the building process more streamlined. For example, laminated ribs now take the place of twice as many naturally formed spruce ribs used on the old boats.
When people ask me how difficult is this. I ask them if they can make a peanut butter sandwich. You have to just get the intention to complete the project. I mean, that's the hardest part of building something like this, is just saying, I want to do this.
Right.
And if you are secure that you really want to do it, you'll get it done, and they do.
The decision to buy and build a cedar boat kit isn't made lightly. If kit building isn't your idea of fun, but you'd like to own a guide boat, Adirondack Guideboats makes and sells both completed cedar and kevlar models. Once completed, a guide boat can take you easily through flat water and even performs well in ocean swells. For years, Jim Peden had good intentions of building a kit boat. Finally, he decided that the company's ready-made Kevlar model, for around the same price, would provide him with all of the grace and utility he wanted in a fishing boat. And it was ready to go.
It's a great fishing boat. This is the only boat that you'll have people fighting over who gets to row. I mean, normally if it's manual labor involved, you're welcome to my share, right? Because I'm basically lazy. I like to fish and relax, but this is a fun boat to row.
After a few minutes of working on my technique, I came to enjoy the extended glide and ease of rowing a guide boat with its 2 7-foot-long wooden oars.
And that's great because it is a fantastic, fast boat. And at times, I do like to just move. If I want to go from here to way over there, I'll be there in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I don't have to paddle.
Right. With a lot of strength.
Yeah. But if I just want to just move a little bit, one pull on the oars, 40, 50 yards, but it's so maneuverable, because it is rowed rather than paddled. One person is all that it needs. That's a very stealthy boat. You just slide right in there. Slip in, fish, catch fish, slip out. Very stealthy. And I like that.
While both Jim and Susan enjoy fishing, Susan is just as content to be out in the boat observing nature, enjoying the weather, and sharing an adventure with Jim.
We just saw that beaver, which was great. And there was a blue heron when we first came out on the water. That must nest down here. We've seen it before. So those are the little adventures, which are close to home, which are the easy adventures to have. But I enjoy just sitting here with a picnic basket and a glass of wine.
The Adirondack Guideboat, 160 years later, is still undisputed the fastest fixed-seat rowboat that was ever made. Our boats are undefeated in open water rowing events all over the eastern seaboard.
Getting people out on the water, whether for fishing, picnicking, and even competitive rowing, is the work of the Adirondack Guideboat in the 21st century.
I do like to row, and we do fuss over who's going to get to row. But other than that, it's just great to be out like a day like this.
Good design never dies. And to think that these men of the woods, only inspired by their need and the wilderness surrounding them, developed a hydrodynamic shape that was that efficient is pretty incredible when you think about it.